In this training video, we're going to learn how to print a tax return and also PDF the return and upload it into Atom. So to begin, you have to start with a tax return. So the starting point typically always is in Atom. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Atom real quick. So on the home page here, these office events, I'm not going to get into too much detail on that, but prepare now waiting, that means the client is waiting for someone to do their tax return. So there's one sitting in here, so I'm going to click on that. It's Johnny Tester here. So now I'm going to move it into my tax preparation because I'm going to start working on the return. So I'm going to select the edit pencil, select my name from the drop down, and I'm going to move the status from prepare now waiting down to tax prep office. Then I save it. Now it's been removed here. And if you look down here, here it is in tax prep office. All right, so now I'm going to go into the return, into the client file here. So typically the client will give you the documents, you'll do the tax return, or if they're uploading everything to the portal, it might be a little different, and we're not going to get into detail on that here, because I'm going to actually just try to show you in Drake how do you PDF the return, some basic stuff on printing. I don't have a printer here right now. I'll just show you how to set it up to print. So I'm going to now go into my Drake. So now I've done the tax return. I'm going to hit open. Let's just go into this one right here, Blogger. So I'm finished with the return. Now I need to print a copy for the client. Let's say they're sitting in front of me. And I also want to PDF the return to upload it in Atom so I have it stored there so the client could also access it on the portal if they wish. But that's where we put the return as opposed to putting it into a file folder. It's stored inside of Atom. So I'm going to go ahead and view the return. Hit continue. And you're going to go to the Sets tab right here. Not all forms, but Sets. And then the EF signature. If the client's sitting in front of you, this is where you want to send these documents to the printer, because typically they're signature documents for the client. In this case, this person owes, so we have some payment vouchers that the client needs to take with them and send a check so they can pay the government. I'm not going to get into that right now. That's beyond the scope of this training video, but I'm going to check this, the master checkbox here. It's going to pre-fill all of these, and I'm going to select this. These client documents, these are also going to go to the printer, and we're going to use those documents to assemble into a tax folder to give to the client. This next set here, preparer set, I check this box. This is actually going to, we're going to send this to a Drake PDF printer. So it's going to be PDF'd, if you know what that means. If you don't, it's just a hard copy of the return stored in the computer. So then you could click on it, it would open it up, and you can view that from another computer or your phone or tablet or whatnot. So when I hit print, you need to make sure it's going to the right spot. So we typically never use this estimated or extension. We usually only use the signature set, the client set, and the preparer set. So these signature and client typically are going to a printer. This preparer set is going to what's called the Drake PDF printer. So if you notice it's not going to the printer you want, you just hit the drop down and you select wherever you want it to go. Same way with this Drake PDF printer, it's always at the bottom. So sometimes if your computer were to do a reset overnight, these might all be blank. They all might default to this cute PDF writer, which we don't want that. So you're just going to hit the override. You'll find out which printer that you use, and that's where you'd send it to. And then from here, I'm not going to send this to the printer. I'm going to close this real quick. I'm going to uncheck this, just so I'm not sending these to the printer. You'll learn how to do that in the classroom setting on how to assemble return. I'm going to focus now just on PDFing this. So I hit print. So the only one selected is my preparer set. Then I hit print again. And if you notice now, it wants to be saved somewhere. So because we're using Verito, which is a remote server, so Drake is on their server, their secure server, and we're just kind of remoting into it. So it's trying to save it on their server. We need it on our workstation. So you might see something like this. So what we need to do is find your workstation. So this is how I do it, and I think this is probably the same for all computers in the office. I would say I click on this PC, and then I'm going to send it to my C drive. Okay, it's going to open some folders, and then for me personally, on this workstation, each workstation in the office has an identified folder. Typically, it's probably based on whatever the workstation is for that computer, but it could say something else, but you need to know what folder do we send all the PDF returns to. So I have workstation 106. Okay, so now when I PDF this return, my computer knows where to send it. If you do not do something like this, it's going to the Veritos server, and you're not able to upload that return into Atom because Atom is on, you're accessing Atom on your workstation, not on the Veritos server. So you need to point the direction to your workstation, not Veritos server. Okay, once you do this once, you're good probably throughout the whole day. It'll always default back to the folder you selected. But again, if you come in the morning, your computer may do a reset, and so you have to do this. So I want to make sure you understand that. Otherwise, you're going to be sending a lot of returns to their server, which takes up space, which costs us money. We want to send it to our workstation, your workstation, whatever one you're sitting at. So if you go to a different computer the next day, you might have to do this all over again, and your workstation folder will be a different name based on whatever that workstation's number is. Okay, so now it's going to label it. Drake automatically does that. And I'm working in Drake 2022 right now. Then I just hit save. And if you see up here, this PC, C drive, this is the name of my computer. And then workstation 106, that's my folder. I hit save. So right now it's gonna create this PDF. This is what it's doing right now. It's gonna take just a couple seconds. Just let it do what it has to do. Because it's actually, the reason it takes so long is it's doing the PDF again on the Veritos server, then it's sending it back to your workstation. Now it just launched this PDF of the tax return. All right, you don't need to see this launch PDF every time. Because every time you're gonna have to close this out. I'm gonna show you how to remove this so you don't see this launch. I mean, it's automatically gonna PDF the return, so you don't need to see this in your face every single time, because this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to close it. All right, so now Drake did what it needed to do. I can hit escape to get out of here. And Drake has an issue, that's why it's doing this. Okay, I'm gonna close it, but that's another issue of Drake. I'm gonna try to get back to my Atom now. So now I'm inside the client file here, Johnny Tester. I'm in Tax Prep Office. There's two different ways I can go ahead and upload this return. I can use my Quick Actions button here, and I can hit Add Account Upload, or I can go to my account documents, because that's where they're all stored. And I can hit Add right here, and that's going to be adding an account upload too. So it kind of depends on what's quicker. This is all new. These Atom features are new. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and do it from here. So Quick Actions, because if you hit Add right here, you're in the Events section. So this is going to add an event, not an upload. So you want to go to your Quick Actions if you're on the main page. So Quick Actions, Add Account Upload. Now I'm going to browse. And now I have to see, as you see here, this is this PC, C drive, workstation 106. So that is exactly where I just sent it to using Drake software. And now I'm accessing it using Atom software. And here it is right here. I just double click it. Now, as you notice, it's stored right here. Now I got to come down here, upload type. I'm going to name it tax return. I have a description that just says tax return here, so it makes it easier on the client portal for the client if they were to access it. And if you come right down here, just give you a little more information where it says client access. I've defaulted this to be full access, meaning that now the client can see this on our client portal, and that's a whole nother training video. If it said no access, that means the client cannot see it on the portal. So tax returns, we always want to give the client access so they can see the return. Then I just save it. And now I just uploaded that tax return to the client file in the year 2022 for tax preparation. So now if I go to my account documents, there it is right here. Upload type was tax return, description tax return, and then there's full access. And this is the file name that Drake put in there. So if I were to click on this, that's going to launch the stored tax return, which is right over here. Close this. One more thing I want to show you. As I said, when I PDF that return, did you notice how that it launched the PDF tax return? And again, I said we don't need to see that every time because you just got to sit there and close it out. So I have to go in a setting in Drake. And now because it's closed me out, I'm going to have to log back in. So I'm on the E drive here. And I'm under your basic. Okay, so I'm in here. So I'm going to go to my, and this is what you guys, in order, and I'm going to show you what I mean real quick. I showed you this, but I'm going to show it again because I think it's very annoying to see this. So when I PDF this return, print, go into my Drake PDF printer, you want to make sure you always send it to the right spot. Otherwise, you're going to print a lot of paper copies, and we want to do that. So I'm going to print this again. Again, I'm just creating a PDF. You see, now it's defaulting to go right back to, now it doesn't say this PC, it says network. As long as it's named my folder right here, and you're going to recognize what's in here. So when I hit save, because there's already one in there, it's going to say, do you want to override it? I'm just going to say yes. So again, it's creating that PDF. And again, it's going to launch my PDF return, which I think is annoying. And I think it's unnecessary to see this all the time. But the way Drake does this right here, this is it right here. So I'm going to close this. And I'm going to show you where you can shut that off. And you pretty much have to do it. So I escape again. And you're going to go to Setup, Printing, Printer Setup. And then you're going to go to this F8 tab, select Printer, Drake PDF Printer. And right here, that checkbox, you're going to tell it to not create this, launch this. So if I save that, hit update, hit OK, save. Now if I go back in this file, view this, and now I select, go to my sets, I hit prepare, print, PDF. Again, it's going to create this. It's going to say, do you want to, I'm going to hit save. It's going to be the exact same return again. It's going to override it. But when it's done, it's not going to launch that PDF anymore. It still created the PDF return and it's stored in that folder, but now I don't have to have that thing pop up and I got to close it. Okay, so I know you're maybe saying, what's the big deal? Well, for me, it's annoying and it's one extra step that I don't need to do. So the reason I'm explaining this to you is because how Drake has this set up, it's designed to stop that from launching. It's by user, by workstation. So I just did this under the students file because I logged in under XTax Basic 1040 is my password. So for my laptop here from home, I'll never have that launch again. But if I went to another workstation and logged in under XTax Basic 1040, it would go ahead and do it again because I have to do it on every workstation I sit at that I'm logged in under that user. So once I assign you an actual username, like Austin or Ethan, and if say Ethan were to bounce between 5 workstations, he would have to do that on every single workstation he sits at that he logs in at. Otherwise, he's going to get that Adobe PDF thing launching. So if you guys sit at the same workstation every time, you just have to do it one time. If you sit at multiple workstations, you have to do it each time. And it's by year too. So if you log into Drake 2021, it's going to do it. And then if you log into Drake 22, it'll do it. So it's kind of a pain, but just go ahead and remember to do this. Set up, printing, printer set up and then to shut it off. It's only for Drake PDF printer. Just check the box and hit update. But mainly what I really want you to learn is how to PDF the return, how to send a return and signature docs to the printer, and then how to then upload it into Atom. Thank you.